So I'm recording this video a little bit late today because I got home a little bit late today because I was playing pickleball. Now, yes, I know I'm becoming an old white guy, but don't worry, I haven't retired from basketball yet. I was playing ball and then I went to the pickleball courts afterwards. Why? Well, because for some reason the basketball courts are hit or miss on some nights, but those damn pickleball courts every night, it's packed. And I know this is nothing new. Pickleball has been taking over the country for a couple of years now, but I guess we finally decided we'll try to get into it. So I've been going over there a couple of nights a week. But anyways, I got home. I did post a community post on YouTube saying that the post game was going to be a little bit late tonight. But I was staying away from the score. I wasn't trying to watch. I was able to see the beginning live where the Heat were down 17-4. And I said, you know what? Let me just shut this off and I'm going to turn it back on when I get home. But as I was early in the first quarter, I got a notification of my guy at Who the Producer, and he replied to my YouTube community post and just told me to take the night off. Now, at that point of the game, when I was on the DVR, the Heat were still down a lot. So I thought he low-key, unknowingly kind of spoiled it for me, and the Heat were going to get blown out as if to say, hey, just take the night off. But of course, as the game went on, the Heat came back. They went up over 20 points. And then it looked like the Heat were going to blow the lead again, do their whole Miami Heat's blown lead thing. And then I started thinking, oh, well, maybe he's saying take the night off because it's same thing as always happened. Just like clockwork. The Heat get up big and blow the lead. But obviously the Heat ended up holding on. So I think he was just trying to be a nice guy and telling me to take the night off. But we're not going to do that for a couple of reasons. One is, spoiler alert, this video is actually sponsored. Now, it's not technically my first sponsor on the channel because it is through the Believe Network, which I guess I kind of want to shout out as well, which of course I have my audio podcast on the Believe Network. A lot of y'all might have heard. I've talked about it a few times, but just to kind of let y'all know, all the audio from this channel is on that network as well. But I'll randomly interrupt this podcast with the Believe sponsorship later because it's for March Madness. But we'll get into that. Enough of the filibustering here because we actually do have a little bit of basketball to talk about. Although not much, which is why I'm not going to lie to you. I'm definitely filibustering here because how do you expect me to talk about this Heat team anymore? Like, it's so clearly obvious that the rest of this regular season does not matter. The Heat will be in the play-in. And then, of course, that will decide what we end up doing with that draft pick. But I'll tell you one thing. The Chicago Bulls are making it real tough to be caught right now. Because if y'all didn't see the end of that game, go watch those highlights immediately after this video. Because they were down 5 to the Lakers. LeBron and Luka was playing. They were down 5 with 12 seconds to go. They hit a 3, got a steal, hit another 3. Then Austin Reeves actually hit a layup in what we thought was going to be a game winner. But then Josh Giddey hit a half-court buzzer beater to give the Bulls the win. So obviously they're making it very difficult for the Heat to catch them. But regardless of all that, and I promise you we will get into the game a little bit, I do want to talk a little bit about tanking first because I did see on Twitter a lot of Heat fans already are mad that the Heat now won 3 straight. And I look at it like this. While, yes, I do want the draft pick this year, so in theory, I want them to tank. I also want to see this group that's playing out there succeed because there's a difference between intentionally tanking and losing, because what this Heat team was doing prior to the last 3 was losing. It'd be one thing if Spo said, all right, we're going to call it quits this season. We're going to play Isaiah Stevens and Josh Christopher, Kashad Johnson. And truthfully, I'm not even sure that unit would tank. Those boys could ball. They've been going off in the G League if you have not been keeping aware. The Sioux Falls Skyforce is looking really good right now. And I do think those guys should play. But anyways, if they were playing those young guys and you lose, fine. But that wasn't the case. They are trying to win games. They've been playing Bam and Tyler and everybody else. So I look at it like this. If you are losing these games, a lot of Heat fans are happy saying, hey, okay, we might miss the play-in. We're going to get our draft pick this year. But I look at it like this. Yeah, okay, you're going to get a high draft pick, which we want. But you're going to be adding that draft pick to the core of Tyler and Bam. But how much confidence would I have in a core of Tyler and Bam if they just lost 10 games in a row? Well, I wouldn't feel good about this team at all. I'd say, okay, get the high draft pick. Maybe you get Cooper Flag. Maybe you get a top 4 pick, get whoever. But I'm looking to trade Tyler now. I'm looking to maybe trade Bam. Because you're paying Bam $58 million a season when his extension kicks in a couple of years. And if he's the guy on a team that we just saw lost 10 straight and never turned it around, I got concerns, obviously. If Tyler Herro can't pick it up now that he is the guy and he's up for a max extension come October, I'm concerned. So as much as I want to see the Heat get a top draft pick, and honestly, I kind of want to see them miss the playoffs, I did want to see them turn around their season in the last 14 games. Because let's say they lost 10 straight, they beat the Hornets, they beat the Warriors, and then if they go on another 6 or 7 game losing streak, that leaves me zero confidence, nothing to hold my hat on the core they have right now of Tyler and Bam and even Khalil Ware, if you want to count him in there too. Because you have to show me something, Heat. I'm not saying win every game, but don't go out there and go on these massive losing streaks like you've been doing, because then I truthfully just have no faith in the core whatsoever, which, what's it matter if you add Cooper Flag to that or not? You kind of know what I'm saying? You got to show me something. And the Heat did get a win tonight to show me something. Now, at first, they got down 13 very early. So, of course, I was like, oh, great. A lot of people called this. They said, we're going to go out there, try hard, beat the Warriors, and then never show that level of effort again. And that's what it was kind of looking like from the jump. But the Heat did go on the run, and I think they ended up actually going up 5 at halftime. They ended the first half on a 12-0 run, which was actually capped off by a Tyler Herro pickpocket on Trae Young. Went to the other hand with a right-handed, boom, tomahawk. That boy Tyler Herro, sneaky hops. He's had some nice dunks, every like maybe a couple times a month, but it still never ceases to surprise me. And it's a shame I went this far in the video without even discussing how awesome Tyler Herro was today. I don't even want to get through the rest of the game first without mentioning his box score, because all season I've said, I like Tyler Herro, obviously, but I said he struggles against good perimeter defenders. I said, what good is it if he scores 30 points against the Wizards if he plays Lou Dort or if he plays Gary Payton or plays Dyson Daniels and he can't score? Because those are the type of defenses you see in the playoffs. Well, guess what? Last game versus the Golden State Warriors, while being guarded by Gary Payton Jr., only got 10 shots off, but hit 7 of those 10 shots, had over 20 points, was passing the ball, super efficient. And then tonight he's playing against Dyson Daniels, who I do believe shut down Tyler Herro last time they played. But tonight, against Dyson Daniels and his defensive prowess, Tyler Herro, 36 points on 13 of 17 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3. 4 assists, 4 turnovers, which is not great. But I'm not going to get on him for that because he has been playmaking really well, and we've been acknowledging that. But to score 36 points on 76% shooting, unreal. Just unreal efficiency in back-to-back games from Tyler Herro. And it does seem like, okay, maybe he is starting to progress a little bit more with regards to his efficiency. Now, I hope it's not just a hot stretch. Everyone has those. We just saw Wiggins score like 72 points and he only missed like 5 shots in a 2-game span prior to the Warriors game. Everyone gets in these hot stretches, but because these last 2 for Herro were against such great defenders in Gary Payton and Dyson Daniels, I have to give Tyler Herro credit for that. I have to. I interrupt this video to tell y'all about something that you're definitely going to want to hear about, because let's be honest, things aren't so great with the Miami Heat right now, but that's okay because March Madness is here and every game is a chance to cash in. And y'all know I'm locked in, so I got to dabble a little bit in the sports betting. So what better way to do that than with MyBookie's Bet and Get program, where when you bet on the March Madness game, you get a surprise reward. That could be cash back, bonus chips, free bets. You never know what's coming next. And as Heat fans, y'all should be locked in too, because truthfully, we're probably going to have a very high draft pick, but I'm good with that because Cooper, Flag, VJ, Edgecombe, all the top prospects are looking amazing. So make sure y'all get in on the action with MyBookie and sign up using promo code MM50. That's MM50. And that will allow you to boost your bankroll with a deposit bonus to make sure you get the most out of your money. And if you don't want the deposit bonus, that's okay too. Just make sure to let them know that I sent you. So bet on any game, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. Now, let's get back into the video. But moving on into the game then, a couple of things in the first half that I did find interesting is there was this one play where Dyson Daniels dribbled out of bounds and Davion, they said the ref said the ball was out on Davion. Immediately Davion is signaling for the challenge and Spo doesn't call it. And the reason that kind of frustrates me is because I think one of the things a good coach should do is believe in his players when they're that adamant, especially a guy like Davion Mitchell, who's still relatively new here, who plays super hard. I just kind of noticed that, and I think Spo kind of could have did him a solid and said, hey, you know what? You made a hell of a defensive play here to speed up Dyson Daniels, force him to turn it over. Let me challenge it so we actually get something out of this. I understand it was in the second quarter. I understand that you weren't taking away points from the Hawks. It's not like they scored. But it's not like you lose your challenge if you're successful. You retain your timeout, you get your challenge back, so why not challenge it? Just last game, we saw Steve Kerr call a pretty meaningless challenge just because one of his games was so adamant that the Heat touched the ball last. And sure enough, it got overturned. So Kerr kept his timeout and his challenge. And I just think that's part of being a player's coach. And I would have liked to see Spo do that more because I don't really think he uses his challenges enough. I mean, he probably uses them the least out of any coach in the NBA. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd put money on it. And it's like, it's there for a reason. Maybe use them, Spo. But what else we got here? Other than that, there was a funny moment where the Eric Reed and John Crotty were giving Kyle Anderson praise for his playmaking, and then he immediately had like a half-court bounce pass dime to a cutting Tyler Herro. I can't say enough nice things about Kyle Anderson. How this man was ever out of the rotation, I don't know. Obviously, today he played a handful of minutes. He played 18 minutes. Jaime Jaquez got 0, so he's kind of taking his minutes there. But in his minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 or 5 shooting. Every time he plays, he makes an impact. We talked about the last game versus the Warriors. He saw Khalil Ware had a mismatch, so he had Khalil Ware come up to set a screen because he knew the Warriors were going to double, and Anderson had an easy pass to Khalil Ware on the roll. He just sees the game at such a great level. And I always made fun of him when he got here. I was like, why do you get a guy who's nicknamed Slow-Mo? That's not good to have in the league. But he uses it to his advantage because he slows the game down and can run almost a half-court offense, which is something the Heat couldn't do. The Heat have a very slow pace overall, so I don't think they should be slowed down as a team. But they also can't really initiate half-court offense because they don't have a point guard. And as Eric Reed said in the game, Kyle Anderson does kind of act like that point guard, point forward role in terms of a guy that can initiate a half-court offense. And then, of course, they always bring up that he played point guard in high school and maybe a little bit at UCLA too in college. So he has that skill set. He even beat someone off the dribble today and finished with like a reverse. How do you get beat off the dribble by Kyle Anderson? Like, that should never happen, but somehow he consistently does it. And he consistently gets these paint touches. How? I don't know. But I'm a big fan of Kyle Anderson, and I'm happy that they do have him for the next couple of seasons. Maybe he gets traded, maybe not. But for now, I am happy that he's here. But yeah, the Heat were going to halftime on that 12-0 run, up 5. Tyler Herro would immediately hit a 3 to start the third quarter. He was absolutely cooking. I think he had 10 points in that quarter too. The Heat's run would go all the way up to 19-0. Their biggest run of the season. That run will put the Heat up 12. And the only reason the run ended there is because Trae Young hit a wild rushed fadeaway deep 3 over Khalil Ware. I thought Ware played great defense on that. And that was just the start of a bunch of ridiculous shots that Trae Young hit tonight because, yeah, Trae Young this season, he's taking more of a facilitator role. Kind of the knock on him in the past is the same thing we're saying about LaMelo now, which is the terrible shot selection. Well, Trae Young took a lot of terrible shots tonight, and he hit almost all of them. Trae Young tonight had 29 points and 12 assists. To how many turnovers? To only 5 turnovers. But yeah, 29 points on 10 of 21 shooting. But more importantly, 6 of 12 from 3. So 50% from 3 on high volume and insanely difficult attempts. Yeah, Trae Young was on one tonight. But yeah, Khalil Ware did have some nice moments too in that quarter. Had a nasty putback dunk. Just so refreshing to see the Heat team with a big man that can make plays like that. He grabbed it out of midair, came out of nowhere, boom, slammed it in. And then that was the strength. And then he showed the finesse like 2 plays later. Hit like a Carmelo Anthony-esque mid-range jab step pull-up. Such soft touch from the big man to hit that from mid-range. His touch is incredible. One of the things that's highly underrated about Khalil Ware. But yeah, moving on here, we got the Hawks. The Heat would actually go up 21 because after that Ware putback, Tyler actually hit a nasty 3. The Heat would go up 21. Then the Hawks were pretty much pushing for the next quarter and a half. Trae Young hit a deep 3 to cut the lead to 5. The Heat lead to 5 with 3 minutes to go. And at this point of the game, every Heat possession came down to the last 3 seconds of the shot clock. We've talked about this many times about how their offense is non-existent in clutch time. It was the same thing today, but luckily after Trae Young hit that 3, Tyler Herro bailed him out with a desperation heave of his own. So shout out to Tyler Herro for stopping the bleeding. That's what star players do, and Tyler Herro played like a star tonight. But yeah, to run through the box score real quick, Wiggins today, 16 points. Bam, 12 and 10. Didn't really need too much from him. Khalil Ware, 7 points, but 12 boards. We talked about this a few videos ago too. If he's not scoring, he's still being impactful by rebounding the ball, getting these heavy rebounding numbers that he really wasn't getting the first half of the season. So he's just always being an impact out there, whether he has the ball or not. Alec Burks, oh my God, this talk about momentum shots, stopping a run from the other team. He was great tonight, 3 of 6 from 3. Some really nice good games in a row from Alec Burks. Davion Mitchell, 16 points and 6 assists. 6 assists to 0 turnovers. It's a nightly thing with Davion Mitchell. High assist total, 0 turnovers. He should probably be starting. No, I don't know. I love Davion Mitchell, man. Hayward Highsmith actually got you 11, and Pella got you a little bit of run. We talked about Kyle Anderson. So, yeah, no Terry Rozier once again. Duncan was out due to illness, and then no Jaime Jaquez. And as far as the Hawks side of things, nobody too much of note. Their first pick in the draft, Zachary Richeshay, 5 points. So, I don't want to call him a bum because he actually had a really nice long stretch, sustained stretch earlier this season. But it's just I look at that and I'm like, okay, Heat, you could have sucked last year, and that would have sucked because last year's draft class is not looking so hot outside of Stephon Castle and Jared McCain and Khalil Ware, I guess, right? But this year's draft class looks awesome, man. And if you were ever going to suck, it's like this would be the year. So maybe just miss the playoffs. Go get someone. Actually, Duke is playing right now. I have no idea what that box score is. We'll check later. I don't care about that right now. I don't care about ping pong balls. He just won a game, man. Anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. I do want to say I appreciate all the comments on my last video. I kind of talked a lot about Pat Riley and his current role with the Heat in regards to all the comments LeBron James said. And there was a ton of comments on that video. Half of them adamantly disagreed with me, and half of them said I was spitting facts. So that's kind of the funny thing about the internet. But also the thing that I love the most is just the discussion that it allows us all to have. Whether you agree or disagree, all the comments certainly interest me because I do think it's healthy discussion. So make sure to leave your comments down below on the bottom of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe because all the support is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.